Alright guys, this is my response to the Weight Loss Loser Channel's week question in regards to weight loss surgery. I want to start by saying my name is Juan Gonzalez, aka Juan Carlos, aka J Carcobalt S on YouTube. I had gastric bypass 3 years ago, actually over 3 years ago, August 17th, 2005. And I used to weigh, my last measured weight was 485 pounds, which probably means I was closer to the 500 range because the last few days prior to your gastric bypass, in my case it was 2.5 weeks from that date on to when I made the decision for my surgery, is the last supper syndrome, so that means you ate everything in sight and didn't give a shit. So I have lost, for my measured weight, 220 pounds. And, well, let me show you. This picture that I have on my laptop is from within 3 days after my gastric bypass, and I'm sorry I have that in the way. That's me at my house the day I came home from my gastric bypass, and that's my cousin. So, and to put it, I guess, kind of in perspective, now let me see if I can get the space here to show it. I kept some clothes. I kept one pair of pants and a shirt, and I don't have the pants here, to show what I used to wear before, and this I purchased almost a month after my gastric bypass. So let me see if I move here into frame. So these were my size 64 pants purchased after I lost already like almost 45 pounds. And this is me now. I can actually almost like wrap myself around completely. So 64. And I was a 6X on my shirts, and well, this is me now like in a 42. I actually had gotten down to 40. And for the first time since my gastric bypass, I've gained between 7 and 10 pounds. I'll discuss that in a bit. But what I wanted to do was, one, give a shout out to everybody on Weight Loss Loser channel. Alejandro, Shanti, Lauren, Adam, and Jason. I hope you guys understand the effect that I think you guys are making on the community in helping people with their weight loss journey. It's not one that's easy. And you guys all know this. I think it's one of the options. I don't think it's an option for anybody, and I think it should be a last resort. I did mine as a last resort. I tried working out with a trainer. I tried a whole bunch of different diets. I've tried a weight loss program with Dr. Koya here in Miami where you did amino acid injections to your butt once a week and did her diet plan and worked out. And I worked at new image camps for kids. I actually left my job to work for the summer to work with kids as a camp counselor, and it was one of the most rewarding experiences of my life, and I wish I could have continued down that, but you know, unless camp would have ran for 5-6 months, it would have been a difficult journey for me. And my problem is that I would lose 80-90 pounds in 2 to 3 months, and I couldn't continue at that rate. I couldn't continue to diet. And I have to say this, if I would have had utilities like you guys are providing us, I think I would have tried so hard not to get to the point that I was at. I mean, I've gone through a lot of depression in my life, personal issues and stuff like that, and I'm an emotional eater for sure. But I think the main point, and for anybody that just listens to this channel, that talks about it, watches you guys, again, different points of view, different methods of trying to lose weight or to live a healthy lifestyle, which is what it comes down to. It's not about, you know, always losing weight and then, you know, not keeping with it. It's about a healthy lifestyle, and you have to do what works for you. But you have to have at least some motivation or work, strive towards it. And I think the main point is to try to stop before you get to the point of no return, which is where I was at. I had really bad sleep apnea. I couldn't walk from my apartment to my car without my back killing me and me breaking out into a horrific sweat, and my life was just going, it was going down the drain. I was 27 years old, I wasn't enjoying life, and absolutely miserable. And I was doing bad at work because I was falling asleep and I was going to lose my job, and I honestly felt that I was going to die. So that is why I elected for gastric bypass. When I saw my weight on the scale at the doctor's office, and I couldn't believe I weighed 485 pounds because I didn't know, because most scales don't read past 350 if you find one that reads that high. So I was clueless to how much I weighed. It wasn't a difficult journey. I mean, it wasn't an easy option. I was difficult intubation. I stayed one night in ICU. They weren't expecting that. I did my gastric bypass with Dr. Sosa here in Miami. His program is awesome. If you're going to do gastric bypass and you're an extremely obese person, awesome doctor to do it with. His follow-up and care is, second to none. It wasn't an easy journey. The reason you lose so much weight so fast is because your stomach is healing and your intestines are. You're bypassing the first part of your intestine, which is the duodenum jejunum, which is what absorbs more efficiently than any other part of your intestine fats and sugars. And you're basically eliminating or keeping the majority of your stomach from processing, the food. You're keeping the most inefficient portions of your digestive tract to help you lose weight. Now, I have to say this, and I'm running out of time. I hope I can fit everything in. It does, like Shanti says, it forces you into eating the way you should have been in the first place. And those are methods that are learned, and unfortunately, I don't think everybody has had life experiences that always puts them into the best place to have that strength or the character to sit there and follow these routines and like anything else, the person you are, differs from your life experiences or how you're raised. And now, I have to say this. I strongly disagree with people that will go and get gastric bypass that are under 100 pounds or not extremely obese, or that if they made even an ounce of effort to lose the weight, work out at a gym, get on a healthy eating plan, and lose it without having to do this invasive surgery. Because it is invasive. It's immensely invasive. And there's repercussions that I have to possibly deal with in my life and for the rest of my life. I have to take a very strong multivitamin, which I don't have it here. I think I took it downstairs, but I am on a super strong multivitamin. You deal with the hair loss and things like that, and this multivitamin that I'm on actually promotes hair growth, and thankfully I haven't had that issue. But I'm a guy. I'm 6 foot tall. Men, and the taller you are, the easier the gastric bypass is going to be. I am at a point right now in my life that I can eat a piece of steak like this big, 8 ounces, with rice and beans. I'm Cuban, so that's the standard meal, with a couple of plantains, and be alright as long as it's healthy and home cooked. I still have a hard time eating McDonald's and Wendy's and Burger King and any fast food that's just disgusting and super unhealthy. There's only a few fast food places that I'm alright with. Taco Bell, for some reason, oddly enough, is something that seems to sit well in my stomach. But I have also reached a point where I can eat enough during the day that I've actually, for the first time, actually gained some weight. And that's one of the reasons that I love the Weight Loss Users channel, because I've gotten back to my motivation. I was working out. Actually, I had trimmed up. I was down 228 pounds. I was actually 2 waist sizes. I was a 40 instead of a 42. So I'm even still having to deal with the problems that I had before, and I'm having to work past it. But channels like this are helpful and motivational, and I don't think, I'm sorry, none of the people on this channel are uneducated and don't know what the gastric bypass is. So, and and I'm sure pretty much everybody in their life has a friend that's done it or family members that have done it. So no offense to anybody. And like Shantae said, she doesn't, the disclaimer, if you don't like this information, this YouTube, it's an open frame of mind. If you don't like what you're hearing, you have the option to hit stop. All right, and in that point, I'm over the 10-minute mark, and I hope that this provides some information to somebody that needs it. And if you guys are looking for somebody to fill in for somebody that's done the gastric bypass on an additional channel, I'm totally up for it if you'd like to. All right, thanks. Good night.